chug the 3 of the 4 and then take the other one. No. Cricket.
Greg, how about you? Coach on the spot.
Justin, Theo was talking about some of the issues with closing out first halves recently. I know Roy takes a lot of pride in how you guys close out the first half. What's kind of led to those setbacks, if you will?
I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily an issue. I think it's just us, staying focused all the way through, no matter what the score is. I mean, it's kind of human nature to sit back and kind of settle when you see that you're up 17 points. And so, for us, we have to make sure to stay focused, no matter what the score is, just continue to keep playing.
When you look back on the game the other day, do you feel fortunate in the way it turned out, or do you feel that that's what you were trained to do and you guys just finally executed things?
I don't think you feel like that's what you're trained to do. I don't think, we go out to practice and we have certain situations where we're up 17 and then we let them come back and then we're trying to fight. But
I'm talking about trying to do down the stretch after you got behind.
Coach always does, he does this thing called 86-80, where either we're up 6 or we're down 6 with 3 minutes left to play. That almost was the equivalent of what we were in. And so, everything that Coach does, it translates to something that we have to go through in a game. And so I think those certain situations, I think that definitely helped us. And just, honestly, all of it was based on our belief that we could still win. They were coming at us hard and kept coming. Just whenever we thought we might have had a break, they made a play or something like that. But we stayed together and, just believing that we can win each and every time we step on the court, I think is huge.
Is that just about experience, or do you have to be able just to have that, shake off kind of moment, forget everything in the clutch to be successful in a moment like that?
I mean, for us, this is a very mature team. I mean, we, except for the freshmen, everybody's been through possibly every situation that you could possibly go through, especially in the run that we had last year. So, I think maturity level as far as this team goes is definitely huge for us. And then, I think kind of how close we are, we're not going to ever, break apart or start bickering at each other or, little things like that can make, their run be even more from us breaking down. And I think, us staying together, I think really helps.
As much intensity and urgency as it took defensively those last 3.5 minutes, is it possible to keep that up for an entire 40 minutes, or do you have to kind of choose your spots because it'll wear you out after a while?
I mean, I think, where we're at now, obviously playing against a really good Butler team, I don't think there's anything you can really hold back. But the styles of play are a little bit different. Against Arkansas, it's hard to go as hard as we did in those last 3 minutes the whole entire game because they're running at you the whole game. They're pressuring you, everything like that. I haven't seen much of Butler, but looking back on the one time that I did play him freshman year, I mean, it was a little bit slower. They're more of a physical team. They don't necessarily press and pressure you as much. And so, I don't think we're at the point in this season where you can't hold anything back, but you have to kind of look at the styles of play a little bit more too.
Roy said he didn't like the looks on your faces when you guys came in for that last official timeout, about 3.5 minutes or so. But he liked it when you guys left the huddle. What did he say in that huddle? I know he alluded to the 6-point thing with 3 minutes left, but what else did he say in the huddle that kind of changed everybody's disposition?
I mean, he always says whenever we're kind of in tough situations that if we do what he says, we'll be there at the end. And I think, having that come from him and then a bunch of the players themselves say, guys, like, we're still right there. I mean, we were down 5. And for us, the way that we can score, I mean, we can kind of turn that, into a tied game or up pretty fast. And so for us, just knowing that, obviously having confidence from Coach, but knowing that everybody is rallying in and trying to get this thing going, that was really big.
What do you think of a win like that, winning in that way can do for you guys still in coaching?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Coach kept saying it, we've never had a game, we haven't had a game like that all year. And, you know, to be a great team and to be a championship team, you have to win in a bunch of different ways. And I think that game, you know, coming back from adversity and playing against a team that played that hard and was playing that well, I think that's going to be key for us.
Rick Pitino said when you guys played Louisville that your offensive rebounding was almost an offense unto itself with the second chance points and everything else. Do you guys as a team look at the offensive rebounding as kind of an element of the offense, or is it something completely separate?
I think it's a part of our offense. You know, Coach definitely he pounds that as much as anything that we possibly have. And so, you know, for us, we know, you know, it's a little different shooting the ball and not really feeling like, okay, like, we're not going to get offensive rebound. But shooting the ball and knowing, okay, we might have a chance of getting another possession or whatever, it gives you a little more confidence whenever you shoot it. So, you know, for us, we have to continue to get on the offensive glass and, you know, try to dominate as much as possible in that area.
How much has Kennedy grown this season, especially in the context of how much you've needed to grow this season?
I don't know if he's necessarily grown, but I think he's, you know, he's kind of filling into that leadership role as a senior, and I think, you know, he's doing that, you know, talking wise and just with his play. You know, obviously he had probably the biggest play of the game with that tip-in, and then, you know, the way he was rebounding the ball. You know, he's just done a bunch of different things, even whenever it wasn't really, you know, whenever he wasn't really scoring much, or doing things that he felt like he, you know, should have been doing or whatever. He continued to play, kept working, and he's been one of the key guys for us.
Justin, going back to that first game against Butler 3 years ago, you mentioned it being physical. All of your teammates after that game talked about how physical the game it was. I know that's kind of been a strategy that teams have used against you throughout your career. Have you gotten to the point now that you're so experienced with it that you kind of embrace that as a challenge, or kind of what's your mentality going into a game when you know they're going to try to be physical with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, even in high school, I knew that's what everybody was going to try to do. And so, you know, now, you know, being kind of more towards the top of the scouting report, you know, I know that they're going to put, you know, one of their best defenders. Usually it's somebody that's kind of stronger than I am, you know, to try to get up in me. I mean, that's what Arkansas did. You know, and he made me rush a few shots, you know, because you feel like, you know, any open spot that you have, you got to take advantage of it. And so for me, I have to stay calm, you know, run through our plays, whatever we're running, and just wait for, you know, those opportunities that I have, and not get rattled with, you know, whether it's pushing, holding, whatever it might be, and just, you know, continue to just keep playing.
Anything else?
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.